Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well, having a great time staying at home, staying safe. And we will continue previous lesson, measuring matter, and today's lesson is all about how to measure matter. Of course, this is class 4 science lesson, and this is lesson 2. So let's start. Before we start today's lesson, let's answer the previous homework. So obviously in the last lesson I gave you a homework, page 195 review. So the first question says, what are the 3 states of matter? And the answers are liquid, solid, and gas. Obviously that's the answer. So the 3 states of matter are liquid, solid, and gas. That's the first answer. The second one is which state of matter keeps its shape? You know that gas take the shape of the container that you put in. And also this also goes for liquid. So matters in a liquid state do not have a specific shape or a definite shape. It takes the shape of the container that you put the liquid in. For example, if you pour your liquid into a heart-shaped container, the liquid will have a heart shape. So your answer cannot be neither gas or liquid because those matters doesn't have a specific shape. What is left? Solid. So the correct answer is a solid state. Solid state, matters in a solid state keep their shape. That's why the answer is solid state. The third question is, which state of matter take the shape of their container? As I said, as I answered before, liquid and gas take the shape of the container. Let's answer the critical thinking. How can matter be changed from liquid to solid? So basically, if you want to change a matter from liquid to solid, the molecules of that matter should lose energy. And we have a process that usually matters lose energy by freezing. By the process of freezing, liquid water freeze and become solid ice. When molecules lose energy, the movement of these molecules will decrease, and this actually make them more solid. Let's answer the last question, which says, which sentence describe a liquid? A. Particles slide past each other. B. Particles stay near their neighbors. C. Particles are arranged in pattern. D. Particles bounce away from each other. Which one describe liquid? Well, you better choose A, because A, actually the particles of liquid slip and slide past each other. So B and C actually talks about a solid, and particles bounce away from each other is actually a gas. So the correct answer for this question is A. We finished answering these questions, or the review questions, so we will start today's lesson. You know that you can compare the amount of matter in 2 objects by measuring their mass. And knowing mass is very important. You know that whenever you want to go and get some fruit from the market. Also, it's very important for you to know that usually object with more mass has a greater amount of matter. So اگر ماسی زور به object كان يعني amount matter regime matter تيانا زورترا قورترا. Mass is measured in a unit called gram and kilogram. As you can see right in front of you. So what is a mass? A mass is the amount of matter something contains. You already learned about this, but I'm just refreshing your memory. So mass is the amount of matter something contains. And usually the unit that we use to measure mass is grams and kilograms. So grams and kilograms are the units that is used to measure mass. So a small paper clip has a mass about 1 gram. Now I want you to ask yourself, which kind of tools we use to measure mass? You can see it right in front of you. We use pan balance, to measure to know the mass of the things. One way to compare two masses is by using pan balance. Put an object in one, as you can see it in the picture. I want to know the mass of that candle. I can use a standard mass or masses. So whenever the pans of the balance are level, the matter of the two pans are the same mass. So if I want to get 2 kilos of a fruit, any kind of fruit you like, I will have to have in one side of the pan, I will have this the fruit that I want to get. For example, the 2 kilo, which kind of fruit you like? Let's choose strawberry. So let's say that I want to get 2 kilos of strawberry. I will put my strawberry in one side of the pan balance and my standard masses in the other side of the pan balance. Once the pan balance is level, then both sides are equal. So I have 2 kilos in both sides. Then I know I already got 2 kilos strawberry. ڕێگەیەک بۆ ئەوەی بزانی ماسی شتەکانی چواردەورە چییە؟ ئەوەیە پان بالانس بەکاربێنی، کێشانە بەکاربێنی. لەسەر کێشانەکە تەبعاً دوو لای هەیە کێشانە. لایەکیان ستاندەرد ماسەکانی تیادانم. ستاندەرد ماسەکانم ئەوانەیە بۆ نمونە لەوێ 50 گرامە، 100 گرامە لەگەڵ 500 گرامە لە ڕسمەکەی بەردەمتە. و ئەش بێ بزانی 1 کیلۆگرام یەکسانە بە 1000 گرام. 1 کیلۆگرام یەکسانە بە 1000 گرام. ئۆکەی لەلایەکی پان بالانسەکەم ستاندەرد ماسەکانم داناوە، لایەکەی تر ئەو شتە دەئەنێم کە من نازانم چەند کیلۆ، ئەمێ بزانم چەند کیلۆ. Then you add or remove standard masses or mass until the two pans balance. The total of the standard masses equal the mass of the object. It should equal the mass of the object. کەواتە بەم شێوەیە ئەتوانی کێشی ئەو شتانە بزانی کە ئەتەوێ کێشەکانیان بزانی. ئەمە ڕۆژانە دایکوباوکمان بەکارێنێ ئەگەر لەگەڵیانە ڕۆشتوی بۆ بازار یان سەوزۆمی و کڕی بێ لەگەڵیانە ئەکید بینیوتە. Let's talk about volume. What is a volume? We will try to answer that question. A volume is the amount of space that matter takes up. Amount of space that matter takes up. So you can measure the amount of space that a solid or liquid takes up. You can also measure the container, such as a box, and calculate its volume. And if you have a cup, and each side of that cup is equal to 1 centimeter. So a cup, each side of that cup is equal to 1 centimeter. Then the volume of that cup is 1 cubic centimeter. So the unit that we measure volumes with is cubic centimeter, as you can see it right there. کەواتە ئەبێ بزانی ئێمە cubic centimeter بەکارێنین بۆچی؟ بۆ ئەوەی کە وەکو یونیتێک بەکارێنین بۆ مێژەرکردنی volume. Now imagine that you have a cup. وەبزانە کوپێکە هەیە کە هەر لایەکی 1 سانتیمەترە. کەواتە ڤۆلیۆمی ئەو کوپە چەنە؟ 1 cubic centimeter. What are the tools that we usually use to measure volume? We have different kind of tools. For example, cooks use measuring cups, measuring cup and measuring spoon to find the volume of ingredient for a recipe. ئەو کەسانی کە خواردن حازرەکەن یان شەفن یان لە مەتبەخە ئیشەکەن چی بەکارێنن؟ measuring cup بەکارێنن یان کەوچکمان هەیە قیاسە قینی قیاسکردنە ئەوانە بەکارێنن بۆ ئەوەی چێشتەکانی پێلە بنن. What about the scientists؟ ئەی زاناکان چی بەکارێنن؟ Scientists measure a volume with beaker or graduated cylinder, a tall cylinder with measuring marks on the sides, as you can see it right in front of you. زاناکان بیکەر بەکارێنن یاخود graduated cylinder بەکارێنن کە کۆنتێنەرن یان قاپێکن شوشەیەکە و ڕقەمی لەسەرە وەکو ئەیبینی لە بەردەمتایە. ئەمانە بۆ شلەکان ئەو شتانەی کە ڕقن ڤۆلیۆمیان چۆن بدۆزینەوە. A solid keeps its shape, so it is easy to see that its volume stays the same. What about the gas? Well, a gas has no definite volume. گازەکانی چواردەور و ڤۆلیۆمەکان دیاریکراو نییە. However, the mass of the gas does not change when the volume of the gas change. بەڵام ماسی گازەکان ناگۆڕن. Let me ask you a question. Can you find the volume of the odd shapes, solid object? Let's say a rock. Yes. So you already have water in the cylinder, right? It is 50 milliliter without the rock. Now add the rock and read the level of the water once again. So چۆنی دۆزمەوە؟ ئێنم سلندەرەکە مەخوێنمەوە پێشەوەی ئێشتا هیچم تێنەکردو ئێشتا ڕۆکەکەم تێنەکردووە ئێڕگولەر شەیپەکەم تێنەکردووە ئەی خوێنمەوە دوای ئەوە 50 میلیلیترە ئالەویە دوای ئەوە چیەکەم ڕۆکەکەمی تێیەکەم ئاوەکە بەرز نابێتەوە لیڤڵی ئاوەکە بەرز دەبێتەوە rise up. So ئێستا ئەی خوێنمەوە ئێستا بوو بە 75 میلیلیتر ئەتوانم 75ەکە ماینەسی 50 میلیلیترەکەی بکەم ئەو جیاوازی کە دەرەچێ ڤۆلیۆمی ڕۆکەکەمە ئێستا لەویە 25 میلیلیترە ڤۆلیۆمی ڕۆکەکەم. And that's how we can actually find the volume of irregular shape solid objects. Let's talk about density. Density is the property of matter that compares the amount of matter to the space that it takes up the volume. So it is the amount of matter to the volume. The amount of amount of mass to the volume. So density is the amount of mass that an object have to its volume, the place that objects need. And not everything big has a lot of mass. And we will explain this in the next slide. Let's talk about the equation that is actually used to find density. So the equation is right in front of you, as you can see it right there. It is basically whenever you divide the mass of an object to its volume, you can find out what is its density. So once again, but you can find the density of an object by dividing the mass of that object by its volume. For example, let's say that we have an object with a mass of 400 grams and a volume of 200 cubic centimeter. What do you think it is? What is the density of this object? So divide the 400 gram by 200 cubic centimeter, and the result will be the density of that object. ئێستا نمونەیەکم مایدەوتم لاوانەیە ئۆبجێکتێکم هەیە چەنە ماسەکەی 400 گرامە ماسەکەی و ڤۆلیۆمەکەشی 200 کیوبیک سانتیمیتەرە. ئەی دێنسیەکەی چەنە؟ ئەگەر 400ەکە دابەشی 200 بکەی ریزەڵتەکە چی دەرەچێ؟ ریزەڵتەکە دێنسی ئەو ئۆبجێکتە ئەبێ کە ئەمانەوێ دێنسیەکەی بدۆزینەوە. Also, you will have to know that different kind of matter has a different density. So شتە جیاوازەکانی چواردەورە هەریەکان density جیاوازی خۆیان هەیە. You already know that everything around you has different mass and different volume. It takes up different volume. So let's take a balloon. For example, a balloon has a low density, even though it occupies a large area. A bar of lead has a high density, yet it occupies a very small area. Why? Because a bar of lead is actually, it have a lot of mass. If you compare it with the balloon may have such a small mass that it floats in the air. So some matters take up a large space but has small mass, like a balloon, and other matters take up very small space, occupies very small space, but have a high mass and high density also. سری دوم example ka. Bowling ball ekam badanawi legal soccer ball ekam badanawi. Topi am serian lighta. Agar desi beite کێشەکەی سووکە بەڵام بۆڵین بۆڵ قورسە کەواتە بەرە ئیتۆ کامیان دەنسی زیاترە بۆڵین بۆڵەکەیان تۆپە ئاساییەکە ئەفکۆرس بۆڵین بۆڵ بۆ لەبەروی ماسی بۆڵین بۆڵ زیاترە ماسەکەی 10 کیلۆگرامە ڤۆلیۆمەکەش 1 لیترە دابەشمان کردوێتێ چەند 10 ئەی سەکەر بۆڵەکە سەکەر بۆڵ دەنسیەکەی 1 کیلۆگرامە و ڤۆلیۆمەکەشی 1 لیترە so کە دابەشمان کردوێتی 1. In the end of this lesson, I will first of all thank you for your attention, thank you for your time, and your homework will be a review in the page 201. And don't forget to check out the definition in the back of your book. And good luck!